I've figured out what I know, can almost not predict, but I know a
Oh, I
bit better
see.
what's going
Mm,
to sound good or not.
mm.
Like I'll like yeah, just from tapping on things, or I don't know. You can tell if something's going to like resonate. It's all like with metal things as well. It's about like if it can vibrate in a good way.
What a beautiful background you have, Mo.
Yeah, I'm I'm in the middle of nowhere right now, in my dad's farm.
Oh, I see. Okay. But
Yeah,
it's so great to speak to you.
nice to meet you. So, where are you from?
I'm originally from South Africa, but I'm talking to you from Vienna.
Oh, cool. Right.
Yeah. But you say you're on your dad's farm. Where exactly are you?
It's about 3.5 hours drive from Adelaide. Um,
Okay.
I don't know if you know Australia well, um,
Not
but
really, but mm,
it's not on the east coast. It's like the middle of Australia in the south.
okay.
And he's away, so I come here and I work on music, and I have the house to myself.
Yes, and you are a sound artist, so you need some space to not have neighbors close to you.
Exactly. It's definitely one of the challenges for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Amazing what you do. It's unbelievable. And I was looking through your Instagram page and I was thinking, you know, it's so you're so experimenting with all these different sounds that we just take for granted, you know.
Yeah, for sure.
And what triggered this? Are you actually a drummer?
Yeah, so I've been a drummer for years. Like, and I've played in bands since I was a teenager. But I just kind of, at one point, I just kind of didn't get bored of like normal music making, but I just thought, okay, it's time to push the boundary a bit and experiment with unusual sounds. And then I just kind of opened up a whole avenue, and I've just dived in over the last few years.
But
So
are you a handyman that you because I see you use like what do you nail guns
yeah,
and
it's guns and drill.
pipes and all that stuff. Yeah.
So I have in the past done a bit of construction labor work and that kind of thing, but it that it kind of all happened like it was just I did it for a joke in the beginning, using all the construction equipment like the traffic cones, for instance.
Mm.
I just dropped one once and it made a cool sound, and
Oh, I see.
it just triggered the idea, and then from there that kind of sent me on like a sonic. That kind of triggered the theme of the construction music,
Mm.
and it's kind of slowly became inspired by industrial noise. So being in those kind of like workplaces, like a construction site or using power tools, there's so much melody and sound around. It's I guess it's something that a musical brain only picks up on. If you're not like a musically minded person, it's probably not the same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know, we hear it as a noise, but you hear it with a rhythm and with a
Yeah.
sound.
Exactly. Yeah.
Mhm. But also I see you use pots and you know,
Yeah.
the
Buckets and yeah.
buckets, yeah, and everything.
Yeah. So that was where it kind of began. I like that was the first. What was it 9 years ago? I just went busking in the streets, thinking, "Oh, this will be fun," just for a joke, and people just loved it. Like it was sensation of the there's a festival in Adelaide called the Fringe Festival. They have one in Edinburgh as well, and no one had ever seen it before, so it was a success. And I was like, "Oh, this is cool. People like it," and I just kept doing it, and then it just went from there. Because before that, I was just making regular music on with like a band and with guitars and drums and keyboards.
Okay.
And this was kind of like, oh, this is actually really fun and raw and like chaotic and
Mm.
kind of a bit absurd. So I think people reacted to because it was so unique.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and then I just thought, oh, yeah, this is a fun. This has turned into a fun project, and it just kind of evolved over a few years.
As a child, also because when the moment I saw you with the pots and the buckets and the stuff, I remember we as children used to take out in the kitchen, take out my mum's stuff and banging. Did you
Yeah.
do that as a child?
Well, I'm like not heaps, but I was rhythmic as a kid.
Okay.
More, I mean, I played drums as a kid, so I kind of
Mm.
maybe I skipped the whole pots and pans thing.
Oh, I
Kind of
see.
maybe
Okay,
I
you
went to
went
it.
to the drum.
I went to it later in life. I went back to my
Okay.
childhood when I was like, yeah, in my 20s.
Mm.
I mean, I definitely would hit things like drum on things, but I don't recall doing it in the kitchen as much. But that's what a lot of people talk about when they see my show. They're like, "Oh, I used to do that as a kid," or
Yeah.
it seems like it's a common universal thing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But it's so also what I thought about the pipes. The pipes you wouldn't realize that, but I see the way you use the pipes and the direction of the pipes that all make different sounds. So are you very much into experimenting? Does it fascinate you how you can do it?
exactly. Yeah.
Mm.
I suppose. Yeah, just like I'm into like field recording and just kind of like just sounds that just weird sounds like that aren't not like non-conventional sounds. So the pipes, for instance, that was funny because my friend found that particular pipe in the first video on the side of the road. It was just like rubbish, and it was like, oh, I should try and. But what can I do with this? So it was like, yeah, I suppose like I just experiment with whatever I can find, and then the pipes have just kind of happened to really sound amazing. That was a total surprise.
Oh, really? So you
Yeah,
didn't
yeah. That was
expect that?
like that first video I did when it went viral where I put microphones inside of things.
Yeah.
That was just like I honestly didn't think anyone would really care about that. Like it was a bit abstract but then it sounded really cool and people loved it.
But
So
I
it kind
think
of triggered the whole thing with the pipes, and then I was like, wow, this is actually a fascinating sound. So I kind of I learned a lot myself as well doing that.
Well, I think it's also very scientific, because
Exactly, yeah.
yeah, because I also didn't realize that it would do that sound.
No, that was the funny thing. People in the comment sections they were like physics experts and sound engineers
Really?
and people talking about all the kind of
Mm.
it's quite I've read about it since like the physics behind like sound in general is fascinating in a physical sense, but with the pipes it's like really weird what they do, how the sound travels through. So I've been learning a lot as well. Like I just like the sound. Often I don't, as a musician, I just like the sound. I don't understand anything too deeply about it. I just appreciate how it sounds. Whereas a lot of people are like very technically minded and focused on like the physics of something.
But what I also thought about is that you have to be also a bit daring to do that, to not
Exactly, yeah.
stick to okay, this is the drums, this is all I can do with drums. But you take it, not just that you experiment on the drums, but you take things from the outside to sort of enhance the sound.
Exactly, yeah. I suppose well, I think I'm just happy to experiment and fail.
Oh,
That like,
okay.
yeah,
Okay.
like a lot
Yeah.
of the amount of things that I've tried that haven't worked is crazy. Like,
Mm,
yeah, and that's, I guess that's any artistic journey really, or music journey. Like, there's a lot of failure.
yeah.
So yeah, I guess the pipes are an example of something that I had no idea, and then it turned out to be really good. But I've tried other musical ideas that have gone nowhere, but yeah, I think that's just the journey of being a musician, and I've been doing it for well over a decade or 15 years. So I guess that's probably what makes a good artist is like it's a long term vision, and I'm happy to like fail at times because you almost have to fail to figure out how to do something better, or learn from mistakes.
Mm. But is it's also that thing where you are not scared to break the mold, you're not scared to do something
Exactly. Yeah.
that's not been done before.
Yeah. Totally. Yeah. I suppose I've probably developed the confidence in the last few years.
Okay.
But yeah, it is. A lot of people are judging on the internet, or
Yeah.
in the real world as well. Um, that's probably a big factor in like my journey as well. Is I just don't care if people look at me weirdly or judge me, or
I
like
love that.
when I'm in the streets performing, but when I'm setting up, people are like, "What is this guy doing?" Well, before I've started playing music, they're kind of just like, and I'm just like, I find it entertaining how people react. Like people have come up to me thinking, "Is this a garage sale? Are you trying to sell these items?" I'm like, "Just wait 1 minute. The show starts. So you'll see." Yeah,
Yeah, because you wear also this reflective gear.
yeah,
Yeah, you look like a
exactly. It's the theme, so it kind of works.
okay. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
but yeah, I think maybe that's a big thing about my ethos is just
Mhm.
why does it matter what people think of you? I
Exactly.
mean, yeah,
Yeah.
like I don't care to be odd and weird and experimental
Mhm.
because I mean,
But
maybe
yeah,
now that I've had a few like minor successes, it's like I feel a bit more confident doing strange things on the internet. Yeah, and people,
but
like the response has been great, especially the last 6 to 12 months. People have loved it, so I feel like I'm on a good path.
well, actually, I saw it on a Instagram story
Uh huh.
from a South African comedian who posted something that you did.
Uh
He
huh.
reshared it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you have
Right.
a fan base in South Africa as well.
Okay. Cool.
It
Right.
looks like it. Yeah.
Yeah. Great. I mean, that's the internet's amazing. I have no
Isn't it?
idea where people are from, but there's people all over the world that now watch my stuff, and
Mm.
it's a very strange thing because it's like it's fame in one way, but it's also just the digital landscape, which is not real. So it's an interesting. That's the modern age. We're all living on the internet.
Yeah. And it's wonderful that we can,
It is
see
great in
these things.
ways.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But what I also thought about was because you had a massage sort of tool and you
Yeah.
were on a door.
Yeah.
And but the sounds that you're making are really, it's not just random sounds. These sounds almost make a melody or a sort of rhythm or something, but that's beautiful. It's not
Yeah.
just you randomly banging on something.
Yeah.
And that I think is also makes it so wonderful, is that it's not just random. It's not just somebody, making a sound. It's really you putting something together.
Yeah,
You're
totally.
really thinking about it, you know, thinking about the sounds that you put together.
Exactly. Yeah. I suppose a lot of trialing as well. That's the thing about the experimenting. Like that one with the massage gun. You know, I tested the massage gun on many other items,
Oh, I
and
see.
they like some of them sounded cool, but the door just sounded like I don't know. The people have commented like, "Wow, that sounds like Terminator," or
Yeah.
I don't know, like some kind of science fiction, or like a Star Wars thing. I don't know, like all
It
sorts of.
does, yeah.
The reaction is wild, but it sounds almost hellish, but like in a good way.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
that was actually the video that I saw initially,
Uh-huh.
but then I thought also, do you go around and look at things and think, I wonder what this would sound like? You know, is it the object that fascinates you, that triggers this idea of what sound can I get from this item?
Yeah. There was a time when I was exploring with all sorts of stuff, but now I'm kind of almost I've figured out what I know, can almost not predict, but I know a
Oh, I
bit better
see.
what's going to sound good or not. Like just from tapping on things, or I don't know, you can tell if something's going to like resonate. It's all like with metal things as well. It's about like if it can vibrate in a good way. Yeah. So like the shed door, yeah, I could just tell by like rattling it a little bit. So, that'll sound cool. Yeah, but always like looking around things like in urban landscapes there'll be bits like poles, metal, all sorts of usually metal actually. Often it's like industrial themed stuff like like this
Oh,
or
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
You like in most cases it's something metallic. So it kind of that's why it suits it lends itself to more industrial sounds. But I do love like sounds in nature as well, like the sound of wood or like more finer sounds like leaves and that kind of thing.
Oh, yeah.
I've definitely made music with that kind of stuff as well, and ceramics and rocks and stuff. But because it's more delicate, it's like harder to kind of perform with. I think the metallic industrial sounds are more like they have more of a wow factor.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
But you talking about nature now, I spoke to a composer who he's inspired by rain. And then one day he made a recording and it was raining on the outside and some of the sounds of the rain came on the recording and he decided to leave it because of the sound of it, and I thought, wow, yeah, we never think of it, but rain does have this a very melancholic sound, and that
Definitely, yeah.
and his music is also like that. So
Right.
it's beautiful that he left it in the recording.
Cool. Yeah. So it was kind of faintly,
Yeah.
faintly in the background. Right. Yeah, it's got a soothing sound to it, rain. Oh, yeah, well, it can be like heavy rain or light rain, or it can have a variety of moods.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But so something what you're doing, this is not is it's new and it's sort of there's not a lot of people, or there's nobody else that I know of that does that. But is this something you think it's can be taught?
Yeah. Do you mean what part of it? Do you mean like the kind of?
Do you think this could be some new way of making music? That people start that musicians start being more open to doing things to sort of with their instruments. I'm not saying that a violinist has to go into a shed door or something, but you know, that we start seeing sounds as not just coming from instruments, but that it can accompany an instrument.
Totally, yeah, definitely. Yeah, interesting thinking about teaching it, I guess. Yeah, I guess. I don't know about like in terms of. I'm actually a teacher as well, a qualified teacher.
Really?
Yeah, but I haven't taught for a few years because I prefer to be a musician, but I'd rather earn less than be a musician.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, than be a teacher and be stressed out.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it does feel like almost culturally like everyone has kind of seen every normal form of art. Not it's kind of the novelty of like these new mediums are kind of it's what more appealing these days because everyone's like, oh, I've seen that,
Yeah.
seen this, seen that. But like with like what I'm doing and a few other people are doing similar stuff. Yeah, I feel like it's becoming more not popular, but yeah, like abstract. Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
not sure what I'm trying to say.
Now I'm thinking
Yeah,
of you know, young people sort of not really wanting to go the classical route or wanting to go, but you know, understanding that you can experiment and you can do things like that, you know, that they I think in Africa also you find that where they have nothing, where they sort of
yeah,
use
yeah,
things to create, and I was thinking of, you know, that's a
definitely.
great example what you're doing to say, look, you know, we can create something with nothing.
Exactly, yeah, totally. I've done workshops in schools before
I
with
have.
yeah, many times in the desert, in the remote indigenous communities, and in schools in rural Australia, and yeah, kids love it.
Mm.
It's a bit more raw. Like teaching an instrument, like a drum set or something, is it takes years to learn. It takes years to learn any instrument, but the playful rawness of like using
Yeah.
junk and it's it's more fun, yeah, than like being a serious right. We're going to learn about music theory and this and that.
Yeah.
I think it's like meant to be playful as when you're younger as well, or like when I was young and got music lessons, it was very off-putting. I didn't like it at all because it was just so like mathematical and right. You have to learn this and that and this and this, and it was like I didn't like it at all. So I think the experimental, playful side of being musical is good for young people.
No, I think so too, and I think some people like that structure, and I think some people,
Yeah,
yeah, you know,
exactly. Everyone's different. Yeah,
yeah. And yeah, and it's great. And I mean, I think it also inspires, and I think from there also maybe some people, some young people will be interested in other instruments, you know, from getting the confidence of doing something like that,
for
going on
sure.
other, yeah.
Totally. Yeah. I mean that's something I would. I mean, I've just got so many projects going that it's hard to. You don't have enough hours in the day, but
Oh,
I would
yeah.
love to at some point go and build recycled instruments with kids.
Oh,
And
yes.
yeah, it'd be awesome. And I've definitely thought
Yeah.
about it, especially in recent years. But because I make normal music as well, like I record and write, and that's very time consuming as well. So I kind of just have to choose how to spend my time.
Oh, yeah.
But building recycled instruments with kids is definitely something I would love to do at some point.
But
Yeah.
you talk because you said to me that you had a concert now recently, so you're still performing. Are you still part of a band?
At the moment, I perform solo, but I've been in bands, many bands over the years,
Okay.
and I've been kind of since the pandemic. I stepped away from performing and focused more on like composition and
Okay.
engineering and mixing and all the kind of more technical side of being a musician, because there's a lot of technical execution that you need really to make your ideas, turn your ideas into reality, which has been actually really good for instance, the videos you've seen with the pipes and the massage gun, like that. Those weren't easy to make. That took a lot of technical skill as well that I had to develop over years as well. So I think that's one of the things people maybe don't realize. Just as a listener to music, there's so much, so much work goes into a piece behind the scenes, you know, not just the making of the piece, but the refining and the getting it to sound really good is a lot of work.
Yeah, I think we sometimes just, you know, go on Spotify and listen to something and don't realize, you know, and don't realize
exactly,
the effort and everybody involved behind the scenes.
Yeah.
And, you know, and not want to pay for music or not want to pay for concerts and things like that. Then you think, okay, so there must be that awareness of what's going on behind the scenes.
For sure. It's same with the video editing, because that's only been a few years doing that, with Instagram, the rise of Instagram, social media, and the reels. Like, you have to, as a musician, be a content creator, is the word. But that, you know, filmmaking is a whole profession as well.
Exactly, yeah.
And that's, now that I've been making short, like, they're mostly less than a minute long. I made a few longer films, but you watch a movie now, and now that I know how much goes into it, it's just wild. Like, every cut, every edit, every shot, it's mind blowing.
No, that's true. Yeah. No, Instagram, it's we're scrolling through, but we don't realize the work that goes on behind all those videos.
Yeah. Or just any media. Yeah. But yeah.
No, that's
for sure.
true. But Mo, what are the wishes for you for the future? What is the big dream?
Well, I suppose to sustain my music, like financially sustain myself as an artist. It'd be great to like perform on a big stage in other parts of the world, but I'm also happy if I can just have a, you know, balanced life of like creating art and living off that art, you know, just juggling several different income streams and projects, because I love doing it. I can just spend 50 hours a week easily making music. So yeah, I don't know. Touring the world is kind of would be cool, but that's, you know, often that's only the tiniest fraction of artists get to do that. So I'm okay if I don't do that, but like obviously that'd be a great thing to work towards.
I think you have to tour the world with your music.
I mean, well, I'm coming to Europe for I do street shows, so
oh really?
I'm coming to Europe in May. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, are you coming to Vienna? Because I want to see you. I want to come and.
Yeah, I might. I'll be in Germany definitely.
Yeah.
What's the street performing like in Vienna? Is there strict regulations, or?
I think you have to get a license. Yeah, you know, you have to get, but it's on. You just I'm not sure exactly how it works, but it's possible to get, you know, permission, and they've got stars. They've got stars all around the city, like allocated places where street performers can perform.
Yeah.
So it's
right. I mean,
but there's a young singer that I spoke to recently. She does a lot of performing in the streets. So I can get you in contact with her. She can give you the details. Yeah.
Great. I still haven't really planned the whole trip, but I'm performing at I think it's a clowning festival in Germany.
Oh, I see. Okay.
I'm not sure exactly. Like, they weren't too specific on what the event is, but I'm booked for it. And also, I think somewhere in Finland there's an event someone asked me to perform at.
Okay.
And also, someone from Vienna messaged me about a festival like 8 or 9 months ago. So I could probably follow that up and see if
Yeah. But
yeah,
let me know
yeah,
when you're here.
yeah. But
But
I think because I really want to go to Italy, so I might travel by land from Germany to Italy. So I would go through
you have to
Austria.
come through
Yeah.
Austria to go to
So
Italy. Yeah.
yeah,
The Italians will love you, I'm sure.
yeah, for
But
sure. Yeah.
Mo, this is so great to talk to you. Thank you so much for your time and for yeah,
No
for
worries. Yeah.
yeah. And
Thanks for reaching out.
it's a great pleasure. And this beautiful view that I have here, the
Yeah.
sunset in Australia.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's quite nice here at the moment.